Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory. As today we discuss Tammy Abraham. Today we discuss transfer news which involve Tammy Abraham, and today we're also going to discuss, because I think it does need some focus, just Tammy in general, and not just, the moment he's living, because we've been discussing that, but just Tammy as a player and just what could happen to the team if he leaves, if he doesn't leave, and all of that. So first of all, I invite you to smash that like button down below if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here, if you're interested in Roma. And obviously the first thing which I'll say when it comes to transfer news is that Premier League clubs have shown interest in Tammy Abraham. Premier League clubs have basically said that at the end of the season, they're going to try and bring Tammy back to England. Now, I do think Premier League clubs are the only clubs which can actually buy Tammy Abraham. And I think Premier League clubs are the only clubs which can financially spend money for Tammy Abraham. And I think they're also the clubs which are in a position to buy Tammy back even after a bad season, because they're the richest clubs. I don't think there will be a Serie A club which will show interest in Tammy after this poor season. I don't think there will be a Bundesliga, a La Liga club which will show interest in Tammy Abraham after seeing this bad moment that he's living, the fact that he didn't get a call up for England, and all of these things combined. So I do think that when Tammy leaves Roma, he will 100% be back in the Premier League. And in fact, he has been shown interest by Aston Villa. Aston Villa actually have said that they will start targeting Tammy Abraham this summer. Now, obviously, there was an option that basically involved Chelsea giving us 75 million euros to buy Tammy back and trigger that buyback clause. Will that happen? No, it won't. No, it won't. And that is why I think big clubs in the Premier League won't show interest into Tammy. I can't see Chelsea triggering that 75 million clause, just because, yes, Chelsea do have money, but it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. 75 million to get a player who has only scored 2 goals in the Serie A right now is just, it really, to me, makes absolutely no sense. And, I don't care what Chelsea do. If Chelsea want to trigger that 75 million clause, then go ahead and trigger it. But if I were Chelsea, I would not in a million years trigger that buyback clause. And same lays with other big clubs. I don't think other big clubs like United, like Man City, why would Man City even be interested in Tammy when they've got Erling Haaland? But clubs like United, clubs like Tottenham even, who need to think about post-Harry Kane, post-Cristiano Ronaldo, why the hell would they choose Tammy Abraham? Now, I just don't think it's within their standards. I think those clubs, for such a big substitution, imagine Tottenham sell Kane, then you can't sell Kane and buy Tammy. Or even, you can't sell Cristiano when it comes to Manchester United and buy Tammy. Now, I think the 2 clubs which I think will show the most interest in Tammy are going to be Tottenham and Aston Villa, as confirmed by many sources. I don't think, Chelsea won't trigger back the buyback clause. Man United are basically gonna buy Cody Gakpo apparently, so they don't need Tammy. Man City have got Haaland. Who's else? Liverpool, or I don't think Tammy isn't a Liverpool player. They just bought Darwin Núñez. I think the 2 clubs are Tottenham and Aston Villa. And Aston Villa is the one which has said we'll start targeting Tammy this summer. Now, Tammy used to play for Aston Villa. If I'm not wrong, Tammy was actually involved in the Aston Villa team when they got promoted with Jack Grealish and stuff. Tammy knows Aston Villa. Tammy likes Aston Villa. Aston Villa likes Tammy. They know how he plays. But again, I think much of Tammy's future depends on his second half of the season. And we've said this so many times. The reason why Tammy Abraham will and has to perform better this season, this second half of the season, it is not just because he's in my club and I want him to start bagging the goals, but it's just for his own personal sake. It's for his own personal interest in his football career. Because if Tammy Abraham doesn't perform well, just doesn't bag the goals in these next couple of months, why would Premier League clubs even dare to buy Tammy? So I just think, apart from the fact that Tammy has to get back scoring with for the team, just lift the team and stuff, it's just for his own personal sake. So again, at the end of the day, I think much of Tammy Abraham's future will depend on these next months. And much of his future will these next couple of months are so vital to a way that if he starts performing so well, then big clubs are going to be interested in him. And if he starts performing so well, then Roma will be in a rush to renew his contract. These next few months are going to be vital for Tammy, are going to be absolutely vital. So obviously, the question now lays, let's say Tammy leaves in the summer. There is no chance, there is no single part of me which believes he'll leave in January. No, he's basically confirmed it. And I mean, I said this already, selling and even trying to sell Tammy in January would be the biggest mistake the club could make. Because you do not want to start back again in a position where you don't even know who's going to play up top. We just can't do that. So if we are selling Tammy, then it's this summer. What happens if we sell Tammy? When we sell Tammy, we have a big gap to fill. And it's one of those positions where I think a lot of money needs to be invested in. Now, speaking on a personal level about Tammy, would you want to see Tammy leave the club? Do you want to see Tammy away from Roma? I mean, I answer very honestly. And before saying my answer, I would say that, before saying this answer, just this is a different fan channel. This is not just like any ordinary fan channel, because I'm a 17-year-old and many fan channels from many clubs in the world have got, elderly men who present. So I'm a 17-year-old. I'm still in that phase of my life where affection is massive. Emotion rushes, all of that. So, before criticizing me when it comes to this, just bear in mind that, I'm 17 and it's very normal for me to say what I'm about to say. Now, when it comes to Roma, Roma is a club which, let's say, wins a trophy every 5 seasons, even if it's not the case, an average. And when Roma wins a trophy, it just remains in there. It just remains in there for centuries. And, I live in a country where football is all about traditions. Football is, I'm not going to say as far to say that it's a religion, because, there is a percentage of Italian people who don't give an absolute crap about football. But I live in a country where football traditions are massive. And in a way where I'm a Roma fan. I mean, this is just in any country, but what I'm trying to say is I am a Roma fan because my dad is a Roma fan, because my grandfather is a Roma fan, because his father was a Roma fan, and all of that. And this works with every club, not just because I support Roma, and I live in a country where these traditions are really felt. And, my dad talks about the players which were during his era. My grandfather talks about teams and players which were during his era. And I cannot hide the fact that to my children, to my grandchildren, the one player which I will definitely talk about is Tammy Abraham, because he managed to win a trophy. And again, so I'm so affected when it comes to Tammy Abraham when it comes to this. I am in love with Tammy Abraham. This is why and you know, I apologize if you think I've been defending him too much, but you know, again, I think it's normal for a person like me to defend players because I think affection is very important. And I'm in that part of my life where if I see a player wins a trophy for my club, is a player who cares about the club, is a player who you can tell by the way he moves, by the way he speaks, by the way he gestures that he cares about the club and has honored wearing this jersey. And then, and the last time I was at the stadium against Torino, you see this player which you're looking to so much being booed by the entire fans. I would lie to you if I said I did not get, if my heart didn't stop, because that's not what you want to see. And I am here always behind Tammy's back just because I'm so affected to him. At the end of the day, I need to think about the team. At the end of the day, I need to think about what's best for the team. Obviously, if we have a striker who doesn't bag the goals, then obviously we need to change him. But at the end of the day, I think players are human beings as well. And we've said this so many times, but I'd like to say it again, that it's just so bad to see Tammy in such a state. Even in the Japan matches, he was just non-existent, invisible. So my answer to this is, would I let Tammy go? I don't want to let Tammy go. But what's best for the club is my primary decision. So if he doesn't bag the goals, then Tammy has to go. And another reason why I think if Tammy keeps on this very tough moment, another reason why I think he has to go is because I'd rather see Tammy happy in other clubs than, you know, fall under too much pressure every game he plays, gets booed by fans. And don't get me wrong, it's an exception. I'm sure by the time January hits, Tammy won't get booed by the fans if he starts performing a little bit better. I think part of those boos against Torino were due to the fact that I think the fans just weren't happy about the state of the team. And you know, it was the week after we lost the derby. And when I say losing a derby, I've said this many times, I don't know if people believe me. When I mean losing a derby means more than, you know, your dog dying in this country. It does. So I think he played bad in a context where the entire team was being targeted because they lost the derby, they drew against Sassuolo, they just weren't playing well, have shown no big tactics on that pitch. So I'm sure that in January, Tammy won't get booed by fans. But at the same time, he has to maximize those performances. He has to get back going. And I think this break was actually water in the desert for Tammy Abraham. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think we have to do what's best for the club. My answer to this is, who is your ideal striker at Roma if Tammy leaves? My answer is prime Tammy Abraham. And I know that doesn't make sense. But my answer to this is, if someone asks me, who is a striker, a realistic striker, obviously I can't say Haaland, a realistic striker which you would really want to see at Roma, my answer would be on top form Tammy Abraham. Because I know what Tammy can do. It's just that he's not doing these things. I know, and I've seen Tammy last season bag 25 goals in the Serie A, won a trophy, bagged a lot of goals in the Conference League as well. Maybe not 25, it was around 20 though, or something like that. You know, I've seen it, and it was great. And I think, I don't know, I just want to see, at the end of the season, I just want to see Tammy get that reaction. And don't get me wrong, I've been saying this since October. You know, okay, let's not criticize him. Let's wait another match and let's see how he plays. Okay, let's wait another match. He's not playing. He's really not playing. I'm the first one as a Tammy admirer to say that Tammy Abraham is not playing well. But let's see what happens. Let's see until the end of the season. Because I won't be surprised if Tammy now starts bagging the goals again. But again, I mean, if Tammy does leave at the end of the season, who do I want to see? I want to see a lot of time, a lot of investment being put in a position which I think needs a lot of money. I think the striker is one of the most important positions. You need a striker who's guaranteed you the goals. So if it means spending 20 excessive million euros, then do it. Because I'd rather spend more euros during the summer transfer market than encounter a lot of problems scoring over the course of the season and throughout the season. And that's why I think, obviously, these Aston Villa rumors are nothing done yet. They're nothing confirmed. But it would be wrong to say that, Aston Villa are not targeting him. Or Aston Villa have opened up their radars to try and sign Tammy this summer. And I just think we shall see what happens. I think starting from January, Tammy has to live like nothing, like it's the first match of the season. Like these months past him were like 20 years ago. He has to, he needs to acknowledge that we've got a lot of matches ahead. And yes, he's not playing well, but the team is still in a rush, in a race to get top 4. The team is still in a valid round of the Europa League. The team is still active in the Coppa Italia. And the team can still achieve a lot. So Tammy just needs to turn that gas on and just hopefully do something. Right, let's read some comments. I've been speaking a lot. Let's read some of your opinions. Was there a delay on the stream? Let me know. The press is really never right, so I'm not worried then. I could see Roma getting a decent amount for Tammy. Roma fans should be careful what they wish for. Who do they replace him with? I personally think we should try to swap him with Scamacca from West Ham. Nice. Love how you're seeing how Tammy's not performing well, Scamacca's not performing too well, so maybe that swap. Like that thinking. Chelsea won't buy him back. They have Aubameyang and Broca. Exactly. I mean, Chelsea could have bought him back, but 75 million. Like, who would spend 75 million for Tammy playing like this? I mean, unless you're like you've got a limited amount of money, then. But Chelsea have also experienced some depths and stuff, especially. So Ronaldo Chelsea, I could see happening, to be honest. Oh yeah, Ronaldo. The latest news about Ronaldo is that Saudi Arabia offer. I'm with the idea that I think Ronaldo can still show a lot, and I think Tammy Abraham is what? Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, is it's like the person which gets admired the most out of little kids, out of all of that. And I think going to Saudi Arabia when you're Cristiano Ronaldo and you're basically telling all of your little kids admirers, all of those little kids who want to become football players and just admire Ronaldo and just idolize him, you're basically telling them, follow money, not your dreams. Now, I know Cristiano's won it all. I know Cristiano can't be discussed. I know Cristiano is Cristiano. But at the end of the day, I think his move, a potential move to Saudi Arabia, will have a massive knock-on effect on all of the people who idolize him. And it's going to be drastic. So I think Ronaldo should still point high in Europe. Then maybe, when he reaches 38, 39, something like that. Maybe one last year in Saudi Arabia. But I think Ronaldo's mentality is not for money is better than dreams kind of stuff. I think Ronaldo has shown over the course of his entire career how strong his mentality is. So I don't know. I don't want to see him in Saudi Arabia. Imagine not seeing Ronaldo anymore. So yeah. Tammy will come good but needs help. Dybala will be back. Sherwood have been playing exceptionally lately. The past two friendlies, highest rated player from both teams in both matches. I still don't understand how come Roma could bring Belotti, who's not performing at all. Yeah, that's another one to talk about another day. Tammy doesn't score in no games anyhow. He's not the striker we need. Nice guy, like him as a person, but as a player, he's overrated, says Rocco Sage. Belotti came free. Yeah, that's true. Simon, when you get a chance, go on Transfer Market and check values of strikers between 25 and 60 million. Not many to choose from. we'll do a video when it comes to that. That's a good video idea, choosing the post Tammy Abraham striker if he was to leave Roma. So up to now, all I'll say is smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's try and get 6,000 subscribers as fast as possible. It's kind of a last run, last push. So please get your friends and families to subscribe, and also don't forget to smash the like button in this video and let me know in the comments, are you Tammy in or Tammy out? Simon out.